This episode of My Conversation is sponsored by Shamlian Dental Inc., offering 24-hour emergency dental care.
And we are back with more My Conversation right here on My Central Valley with more great guests. We're going to get right into this thing. If you can, put your hands together for Lisa Brown and Ken Labendeira from Moore Grider and Company. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic.
Great.
I'm looking forward to this right here because I got a feeling you're going to enlighten me on a lot of things. Now, they say you do CPA.
Yes.
Now, that's not Certified Professional Assistant, right?
Nope.
Okay, so explain to us exactly what you do.
We're both certified public accountants and certified fraud examiners.
Uh-oh.
So, we're Moore Grider is a full-service accounting firm. We do personal returns, businesses, partnerships, corporations, estates, trusts, bookkeeping, pensions, audits, and fraud examinations.
Oh, wow. One-stop shop for everything
Yes,
you need.
that's what we try to be.
Okay, now how long have you been doing this?
Firm started in 1956, so 61 years.
Oh, wow.
So we're one of the older accounting firms and one of the larger ones in Fresno. We have 9 partners right now and about 22, 23 professional staff.
Oh, that's incredible.
So,
Yeah.
So now, specifically at the company, what do you two do?
I'm a tax partner.
Okay.
So I predominantly do income taxes.
Okay.
Businesses and individuals. We do a lot of QuickBooks consulting.
All right.
Because a lot of businesses use QuickBooks. Lisa?
I am a staff CPA. I've been there 4 years now. I do a little of everything. I get my hands into everything. So I do tax, I do audits. We're building up the fraud practice, so I do a little of everything there.
Now, when people hear audit, automatically go into a panic trying to get it. Take me through the process of what an actual audit consists of.
Well, tax audit is different from a financial statement audit.
Okay.
So tax audits is when the IRS wants to clarify or wants to catch you in a lie or audit your practice or your business.
Okay.
When I talk audit practice at Moore Grider, it's auditing financial statements. So we do a lot of nonprofit audits, and Lisa could talk about that.
Yeah, a lot of nonprofits need audits because they get federal funding, and part of that funding stipulates that you have to have an audit to show how you're spending your money.
Okay.
So we come in, do the audit for them, show, okay, they're using the money how they said they would and that kind of stuff. So, and then we have for-profit companies also that need it. Really, usually it's because of their banks. If they have a substantial amount of loans out, the banks require that they have an audit to show, again, that they're profitable and what they're doing with the company.
Come in with a shoebox full of receipts and just kind of dump them out?
Not quite that bad for our kind of audit. IRS audit, yes.
Yes, for IRS audits, yes. For financial statement audits, it's testing the controls of the company and testing transactions to make sure the financials fairly represent the financial status of the company.
Yep.
Okay, me personally, I have a lot of questions for the knowledge because I hang out with a lot of guys who claim to have businesses and want everything to be a write-off. Okay, what is allowed to be written off?
Basically, the IRS says anything that's ordinary and necessary. That's how broad it is.
Ordinary and necessary.
To your business.
See, guys, I knew the drinks we had the other night is not.
See, I think that's necessary.
It's very. It's very. You got a friend. You got a friend. Now, I know a lot of panic. We just coming out of the tax season right now.
Correct.
Of course, very busy time of the year. You guys, how many clients do you carry during tax season?
Individuals.
Look at her face. Look, she came out like, oh, wow.
As a firm, individuals, we do between 3,000 and 3,500 individual returns.
Wow.
Plus another business returns, I'd say another 1,000, 1,500.
Yeah.
Including partnerships and corporations and then a lot of trust returns. So we're a large-sized firm. We do a lot of work.
And so that's for personal and businesses. You guys take on all
Yes.
clients.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that we should be like holding on to turn in when it comes time for taxes? Are there certain receipts to be written off, or is it just grabbing your W-2s, or?
It depends on the client. Some clients have their W-2 and a little bit of interest and dividends, and that's all they have. Other ones that have businesses, they need to keep pretty much all the receipts for at least 4 years. IRS can go back 3 years and audit you. The state
Wow.
can go back 4 years and audit you. So any receipts for whether it's a business meal should be documented. You're supposed to turn the receipt over and who you were with and what you talked about, and that's what they want. A lot of people keep their credit card statements and think that's okay. Better off, the more documentation you have, the better for an audit.
Okay. Okay. Now, being in the business as long as you have, what are some of the craziest things you've seen people try to write off?
A wedding.
Huh?
A wedding.
That's not
Through their business.
a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
The entire wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to really get off into this.
Yeah, you don't want to get out there.
So how would you do that? Was it successful, or were they able to do it, or?
No.
I like your response. No, don't try it.
No, don't try
You
it.
take that leap of faith on your own. Don't try to write that off.
A lot of private, they'll try to write off personal expenses. You'll see their personal PG&E bills trying to be ran through the corporation. And you see the corporation has one building and there's 4 different PG&E bills coming through. Just trying to run personal expenses through to lower the corporate profit or the business profits as much as they can.
And that's got to be a workload and a half for it.
So we have to work cautiously because we have to let the client know, yeah, these aren't deductible items, and they're wanting to push everything they can.
I want to get off into some more of the stories because I used to do front office work for a guy who did taxes, and I had a lady come in, and she wanted to write off her dog food. She literally wanted to write off her dog food because she kept the dog in one of the properties and claimed it as security.
Security.
I thought that was rather creative.
Actually, you may be able to do that.
I'm gonna talk to you more about
There's
that, right?
certain yards that do have dogs that in certain parts of town that is security. And if you've been burglarized, and if it's considered ordinary necessary, then you actually can do that. Now I've had law enforcement try to say I can deduct their haircuts because it's part of their required uniform. No.
Okay. We're gonna bookmark that real quick. We're gonna come right back with more on my conversation with Lisa and Ken. You guys don't go anywhere.
This episode of My Conversation is sponsored by Shamlian Dental Inc., offering 24-hour emergency dental care. This episode of My Conversation is sponsored by Shamlian Dental Inc., offering 24-hour emergency dental care.
Glad you used that finger. And we're back on My Conversation right here, man. It's a beautiful morning, and we stopped initially with Ken saying that some of the officers tried to say that the haircuts can be written off because it's part of uniform.
Right.
Can you?
No, it's a personal expense. Same with gym memberships. Firefighters say I have to be in shape. I can deduct my gym membership. IRS disagrees.
The IRS disagrees.
Yeah, so you can't turn a personal expense business by saying, business suits. You can wear them anywhere. They're not deductible. Specialized clothing, construction workers' boots, those are deductible because they're not things you would normally wear outside of work.
Okay.
But doctor smocks, that kind of stuff, that's different.
Okay. Now, we mentioned it over the break. Certain things is classified as hobby versus business. Can you elaborate on that for us?
Yeah, basically, to be considered a business, you have to have a profit objective. You can't be in a business to lose money. The IRS likes to attack a lot of the animals like horse breeders because they have a lot of expenses, never show a profit. So they're going to say those are hobbies. You still got to claim the income, but you can deduct your expenses limited to your income. So basically zero it out.
Specifically, horse breeder, is that okay? That's business?
Yeah, they have horses, and so they say I'm in the breeding business.
So they
try to deduct it, and what they're doing is they can use that business as a way to lower their other income from their W-2 or from their job. So you have a loss here to offset your other ordinary income and pay less tax.
Okay, now we can make up some things along the way, and that touches off into the fraud area. Explain some of the cases as far as like what justifies, as far as fraud.
So usually how fraud comes about is just somebody finds it by accident.
Okay.
It's not necessarily, somebody comes up to them and says, hey, I've been stealing money from you. Go look at this. A lot of times what it is, you have a long-term employee and they never take vacation. They're always there every day, all day. They happen to take a vacation. Somebody comes in, looks at the books. Hey, this bank reconciliation, I'm missing all these checks. What's going on? Somebody then starts looking and says, hey, they've been taking money for however many years. Sometimes you get up into 6 figures where somebody's been taking money for a number of years. Yeah. One of the more interesting cases that I've worked on was with a local community service district where a manager was hired, and as soon as he was hired, he came in, started using the company credit card. He purchased 2 Mustangs for himself. He was on dating websites, buying health supplements, stuff that you would not associate with a community service district, So about 4 months after he was hired, somebody finally said, hey, something's going on. So we went out there and looked at it. And
So in that situation, you would come in and go over the books, or?
correct, yeah. So we would come in, we would basically look at everything to begin with, depending on where they think it's happened at. Usually we would start, with the bank statements, credit cards, kind of the easy pickings. Go from there, and then we would drill down to see, okay, what more do we need to look at in the company to see what other areas they would have touched.
Outside of buying Mustangs
Yeah.
and dating websites.
Yeah.
But a lot of the accounting software now, you can change the transaction, so you can write a check and then change who the payee is. And somebody looking at the books say, oh, it was to an office supply place.
Right.
And really it was the personal expense that they changed. And the software has some auditing trails that you can go through. But basically you go back to the check or you go back to the credit card statement, because you can't change those necessarily.
Right. But the software, you can go in and
some of them have audit
Correct.
trails built in, so if you change a transaction, it tells you who, but that goes into safeguarding your logins to your software too. You don't have one password for everybody. Each person has their own, so you know who's making these changes.
That's incredible.
And it's long-term employees. It's not somebody you hire and a few months later they start stealing. We've seen some where employees been there 10, 15 years, and they've trusted that employee so much where they're handling the cash coming in from the bank and the deposits, and they're just pocketing money.
Wow. That's
Happens
incredible.
more than you think.
Correct, yeah.
Well, you're like, we trust him, go ahead. We're not worried
Exactly.
about it. And the next thing you know, there's money missing from the company, and then you would come in. I mean,
Correct.
just by detection, is it a matter of the employee or the company catches a clue of it first, or is it just something that?
It's usually the company. They catch something that they think isn't right, so then they'll contact us and say, hey, we think something's wrong. So we might just do a cursory review first to say, okay, let's look at, certain areas in your accounting to see, what's going on. And then if we see something, we'll be like, okay, we think something's going on. Let's go ahead and go in and look more. So, it's up to the client really how far they want us to go.
Because there's expense involved to the client
Correct.
to have us go out and do this as well. So
See, the deviant is me is loving this right now. It's like,
the interesting part is a lot of times they don't want to press charges.
Correct.
just get them out of here.
Just get them out of here.
Yeah, because they don't want the bad publicity.
Aha.
But by not pressing charges, it does not go on that person's record. So they can move
Right.
on to the next victim, if you want to call it that.
And
way.
we've had somebody who has gone to interview with another client of ours, and
After,
after they
they
were
stole.
dismissed for stealing.
I like that word, dismissed.
Yeah.
You're fired.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Okay. So that would, but that's see, I feel like I'm at CSI Fresno now,
Yeah.
digging in the books and going over everything. And your firm is fully capable of going, of course, fully capable of going through all of that kind of stuff. How often do those cases pop up?
It happens more than you think. We're just kind of getting our foot into it. But yeah, I mean, it could be as often as you might get a call once a week, or it could be,
Wow.
once a month. You never know. It's not something that, somebody calls every month, hey, I need you to come out and look at my books to see if I have fraud going on. It's usually just by chance, and, it's a one-off thing that they call.
And here I thought good old Fresno, everybody was just honest and wholesome. We don't have those problems here in the valley. No. If somebody did want to contact you for, to go over their books or get their taxes done, how could they do that? What's your contact?
They can contact us via phone. Our number is 559-440-0700. Or we have a website, moregrider.com.
Moregrider.com. I got to tell you, I knew I was going to love this part. I had so many questions. You've answered them all. Thank you so much for being the guest. Give it up one more time for Lisa Brown and Ken Labendeira. We'll be right back with more conversation, my conversation after these messages.